I remember the exact moment she said it. We were sitting in my small apartment, the one I worked 3 jobs to afford, and Emily looked at me like I was a stranger. "I can't do this anymore," she said, tossing her hair over her shoulder. I I need someone who can give me a life I actually deserve." I blinked. "What are you talking about?" Her lips curled into that smug smile I hated. "Ryan, he can take me anywhere. You can barely pay your rent." "Emily?" I choked out. "You're leaving me for money?" She shrugged like it was the most natural thing in the world. "It's not just money. I want status. I want to live well. You'll never give me that." I stared at her, trying to process the betrayal. The apartment felt smaller, the walls closing in. We've been together for 3 years." "And wasted 3 years," she said, standing up. "I can't stay in your little bubble anymore. I deserve better." I wanted to scream, to throw something, to beg her to stay. But no sound came out, only silence. "Are you even listening to me?" she snapped, storming toward the door. I don't know what to say," I admitted. She smirked, finally letting me see how cruel she could be. "Don't say anything, just watch me move on." And then she left. I sank onto the couch, staring at the empty doorway. I felt like my chest had been ripped out. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding, a sick rhythm of disbelief and humiliation. My phone buzzed. "Mark." "Of course." "Dude, are you okay?" His voice came through, worried. "No," I admitted. She left me for Ryan. He's rich, successful, everything I'm not." "Man," Mark said gently, "I know it hurts. But you can't let this break you. You've got talent, brains. Don't waste it crying over her." "I can't stop thinking about her," I said, voice raw. The way she looked at me like I was nothing. "You're not nothing," Mark insisted. "She made her choice. You get to make yours. Focus on yourself. Build your life. Show her what she threw away." I ran my hand through my hair. "I don't even know where to start." "Start small," he said. "One step at a time. And trust me, one day, the tables will turn. You'll see her begging, not the other way around." I let his words sink in, feeling a spark of something I hadn't felt in weeks. Determination. Not just to get over her, but to rise, to prove her wrong, to make sure she knew what she lost. "Thanks, Mark," I said quietly. I needed to hear that. "Anytime, man. Now go do something about it. Don't just sit there feeling sorry for yourself." I hung up and stared at the empty room again. Every memory of her, the laughter, the fights, the plans we made, poked at my heart like jagged knives. But under the pain, something else grew. Anger, focus, a silent promise. One day I whispered to the empty walls, "I'll make you see. You'll work for me. You'll beg. And you'll regret leaving." And with that thought, I finally stood up. The office lights were harsh, buzzing overhead as I stared at my laptop screen for the 5th hour straight. I rubbed my eyes and muttered under my breath, "Why did she have to leave me for Ryan?" A soft voice interrupted my thoughts. "Because you let her define your worth." I jumped slightly and looked up. A woman stood in the doorway, sharp, confident, and unbothered by my messy desk. "Who are you?" I asked, suspicion creeping into my voice. "Jessica." "I heard about your little heartbreak," she said, a smirk tugging at the corner of her lips. "And I also heard you have potential if you stop whining and start acting." "I'm not whining," I snapped, though my voice faltered. "I'm figuring things out." She laughed softly, leaning against the doorframe. "Figuring things out doesn't involve staring at spreadsheets until your eyes bleed. You need strategy, discipline, and a little fire in your gut." I frowned. Strategy? Fire? Yes, she said, walking closer. Right now, you're letting Emily's betrayal control you. That ends today. You've got talent, but talent isn't enough if your head is full of bitterness. I clenched my fists. You think it's that simple? No, she said calmly. It's hard. But that pain, that anger, you can use it. Turn it into growth. Make her regret leaving you, not by crying, but by winning. I looked away, feeling the sting of her words. I don't even know where to start. Jessica pulled up a chair. Start small, build one thing, master it, then move on. Little victories lead to bigger ones. I nodded slowly, something igniting inside me. And if I fail? Then you fail, she shrugged. But at least you tried. Failure teaches more than comfort ever will. Over the next few weeks, I followed her advice. I worked late nights, sometimes skipping meals, sometimes barely sleeping. Jessica pushed me harder than anyone I'd ever met. Focus, she'd bark. Do this for yourself, not her. She's already gone. One night I slammed my laptop shut, exhaustion weighing me down. I just can't get past her, I admitted, voice raw. Jessica leaned back, arms crossed. Good. Feeling the pain means you're human. But you have two choices, let it kill you or let it drive you. Which one do you want? I swallowed hard. Drive me. I want it to drive me. Good, she said, smiling. Then tomorrow you start building your empire. I laughed bitterly. Empire? I don't even have a plan yet. You'll make one, she said. And when you do, it will be yours. Not hers, not Ryan's, yours. And that feeling of taking control? Priceless. Her words stuck with me, even when I returned home to my empty apartment. I stared at the cracked wall, imagining the life I wanted, not the life Emily had chosen. I pictured a company that bore my name, success I could touch, power I could wield. Okay, I muttered to myself. One step at a time, build, grow, win. Jessica became my anchor. Every night we talk about strategies, market trends, and ways to turn weakness into strength. You're angry. I see it, she'd say. Good. Let it fuel you, not ruin you. I remembered Emily's mocking smile, her laugh, when she told me I'd never make it. That memory used to hurt. Now it burned like gasoline, lighting a fire under me I hadn't known existed. By the end of the month, I had a small client base, a prototype for a product, and a sense of direction. Jessica looked at me, eyes gleaming with approval. You've got potential, she said. Don't waste it on grudges. Use it on success. I nodded, chest tight with determination. I won't. For the first time in weeks, I felt hope. Not for Emily, not for Ryan, not for anyone else, but for me. And as I closed my laptop that night, I whispered to the empty apartment, one day the tables will turn. I'll rise and she'll see what she lost. See. I was sipping my morning coffee when Liam burst into my office, waving a stack of resumes. Boss, you need to see this, he said, grinning. I raised an eyebrow. What is it now? He tossed the papers onto my desk. Emily's on here. I froze. My hand shook slightly as I picked up the application. My ex wanting a job at my company? No way, I muttered. She doesn't know it's you, Liam said, leaning against the doorframe. She applied thinking it's just another job. Classic Emily. I stared at her neatly typed resume. My mind spun with disbelief. She left me for Ryan, now she's applying to work under me? Liam chuckled. Irony much. And get this, her ex dumped her for someone younger. She's desperate. I swallowed hard, feeling a bitter sense of satisfaction mixed with disbelief. Desperate? That figures? Do you want me to reject her? Liam asked, eyebrow raised. Or have a little fun? I smirked despite myself. Fun? Definitely fun, but cautiously. I want to see her squirm, but professionally. Liam laughed. Got it. I'll schedule an interview. She won't suspect a thing. Later, Emily walked into the conference room, looking polished and confident. For a moment, I almost felt something pity? But it quickly turned into amusement. Good morning, she said, eyes bright. I'm here for the interview for the marketing position. I leaned back in my chair. Of course, Emily. Please have a seat. She blinked at me, confusion flickering across her face. You're the CEO? I smiled faintly. I am. And it seems fate has brought us back together, hasn't it? She laughed nervously. I didn't know. I swear. I nodded slowly, letting the silence stretch. Well, rules are simple. You'll follow every instruction, meet every deadline, and work like you've never worked before. Fail, and this job isn't yours. Emily swallowed, cheeks reddening. I understand. I leaned forward, voice calm but firm. Good. I want honesty and dedication. That's all I care about, nothing else. Her eyes flicked to mine, searching. I really need this job. I messed up before. I hope I can prove myself. I studied her carefully, feeling the power shift in my favor. We'll see, I said quietly. Actions speak louder than words. After the interview, I turned to Liam, who was trying to hide a grin. She's mine to guide or test, I said. Liam smirked. Oh, she'll learn, and you'll enjoy every second. I chuckled, a strange warmth in my chest. Not for Emily, not for nostalgia, but for the satisfaction of having control for the first time since she left. I watched her leave the room, walking a little taller than she felt inside. One day, I whispered to myself, you'll realize exactly what you lost. Liam clapped me on the shoulder. Ready to see her try? I nodded. More than ready. Let's see how badly she wants it, now that she can't have everything handed to her. As the office settled into quiet productivity, I felt it, the thrill of irony, the taste of justice, and the faint spark of anticipation for the chaos to come. I watched Emily shuffle through the office, trying to hide her unease. Every misplaced file, every stuttered explanation, it all felt like a small victory. Boss, Liam whispered, leaning against my desk. She's struggling already. Should we? No, I interrupted, keeping my voice low. Let her feel it. Let her understand that she's not in control anymore. Emily approached timidly, papers trembling in her hands. I finished the report, she said, placing them on my desk. I glanced at it, frowning slightly. This is good, I admitted, but the projections are off. Check the client's demographics again. I want accuracy, Emily. Don't let anything slip. Her eyes widened. Yes, I'll fix it. Liam smirked beside me. She's going to hate you for this. Good, I whispered. She needs to learn that effort matters, not charm. Later, a colleague peeked into my office. She's trying, sir, but she looks completely overwhelmed. I leaned back. She's learning. That's the point. Comfort doesn't teach growth. Emily returned with corrected files, sweat on her forehead. I think it's better now, she said, voice small. I nodded slowly. Better, yes. But the presentation is tomorrow. I want perfection, Emily. No excuses. Her lips trembled, a flash of fear in her eyes. I'll do my best, she whispered. Good, I said, voice calm but firm. Because this time, you're working for results, not appearances. I couldn't deny the strange twist in my emotions. Anger at her arrogance, satisfaction at my authority. And somewhere buried, a faint longing for what we used to have. That thought made me clench my fists under the desk. I couldn't let sentiment cloud judgment. During lunch, Liam leaned over. You're enjoying this a little too much, aren't you? Maybe, I admitted, but it's justice, not cruelty. She left me thinking I was nothing. Now she's proving she can't survive without hard work. You're playing mind games, he teased. I smiled faintly. Only she doesn't realize it. I let her think she's just learning the ropes. But really, I'm testing her limits, seeing how far she'll go under pressure. Emily's hands shook as she poured coffee for the team, avoiding eye contact with everyone. A colleague whispered to another, "She's really flustered. Poor thing." I heard it and felt a surge of power. She's the one being watched now. She's the one who feels small. Later, I called her over again. "Emily, I noticed the client's last email wasn't addressed correctly. Attention to detail, please. Every tiny thing matters." I understand," she stammered, biting her lip. I leaned forward slightly, watching her flinch. "This isn't punishment, this is preparation. If you survive today, you'll be stronger tomorrow. If you fail?" I let the words hang. "Then maybe you weren't ready at all." She nodded quickly, swallowing hard. I'll get it right." After she left, Liam grinned. "You've completely flipped the roles. She's terrified." "Exactly," I said, eyes narrowing. "She needs to see that she's no longer the one in control. That power is mine now." Sitting back, I allowed myself a small smile. The satisfaction was intoxicating. And yet, even as I watched her struggle, a quiet part of me reminded me, this wasn't just about revenge. It was about growth, for both of us, in very different ways. Emily's hands trembled as she set up the client presentation. I leaned back in my chair, watching every move. "The slides are missing some key data points," I said calmly. She froze. I thought I covered everything," she stammered. "I know what you thought," I replied. "But thought doesn't count here. Results do." Her eyes flicked up at me, a mix of pride and panic. "I can fix it. I'll fix it right away." "Good," I said, my voice steady. "But I want it done in 2 hours. No excuses. And triple-check the figures. Accuracy matters more than speed." She nodded, biting her lip, and left the room hurriedly. Liam appeared behind me, smirking. "She's realizing she's out of her comfort zone." "I'm aware," I said, though a small part of me still ached, remembering her smug smile before Ryan. "Let her learn the hard way." Later, she returned, hair slightly disheveled, carrying a stack of papers. I think I got it this time," she said hesitantly. I picked up the papers, scanning quickly. "Better," I admitted, "but the client's last email wasn't referenced properly. That detail is crucial. Fix it before the meeting." She swallowed hard, hands trembling. I'll do it, I promise." I leaned back, letting her squirm under my calm gaze. "I hope so. Otherwise this won't go well for either of us." She flinched. I understand. I won't fail." Her quiet determination was palpable, but the irony wasn't lost on me. She had once mocked my work ethic, laughed at my struggle, and now she was pleading, quietly begging for approval. "You're really strict," she muttered, almost a whisper. "I'm professional," I corrected, keeping my tone even. "You'll notice there's a difference between appearances and performance. Remember that, Emily." She nodded quickly, swallowing again. "Yes, I'll remember." I paused, feeling a twinge of guilt for a moment, but it was fleeting. "And Emily," I added, softer this time, "this isn't personal. I'm not punishing you, I'm preparing you. If you survive, you'll be stronger." Her eyes flicked up, a hint of vulnerability breaking through her pride. I hope so." The next day, I set another challenge, a mock client pitch. "You'll lead the presentation," I told her. "I'll watch, but you're in charge. I expect professionalism, clarity, and precision." She swallowed, nodding. I can do that. You will do that, I corrected firmly. Because this is your chance to prove yourself. Or fail. And failing isn't an option. As she rehearsed in the conference room, I caught her glancing at the door nervously, as if expecting Ryan to appear and rescue her. I remembered his name made her eyes light up once, the way she'd brag about his wealth and charm. Now, he was irrelevant. Liam nudged me. She's nervous. Should I intervene? No, I said quietly, watching her stumble over a line. Let her face it herself. That's the lesson. Later she approached, voice trembling. I know I messed up before. I just want to do right this time. I studied her carefully. You will do right this time, Emily. Only if you focus, listen, and work hard. No shortcuts, no excuses. She nodded, biting her lip. I'll try, please. I need this. I felt the power shift fully now. Her pride had cracked, replaced by the quiet desperation she had once seen in me. And yet beneath it all, I still struggled with a faint ache, a memory of what we had, what I had lost. You'll learn, I said, voice firm but almost gentle. And when you do, you'll thank yourself. Or maybe you'll remember what you lost by underestimating me. She swallowed, looking down. I won't forget. I allowed a small, satisfied smile to creep in. Karma was in motion, and I could feel it with every glance, every hesitant step she took under my supervision. And even as I relished it, I admitted silently to myself, this wasn't just about revenge, it was about proving my own strength too. Emily stood outside my office door, hands fidgeting with her bag strap. I could tell she'd rehearsed this 1,000 times, but her nerves betrayed her. Emily, I said, voice calm, come in. She stepped inside hesitantly, eyes darting around as if searching for an escape. I need to say something, she began, voice barely above a whisper. I leaned back in my chair, arms crossed. Go ahead. She took a deep breath, trembling. I underestimated you. I thought you'd never get this far. I thought I made the right choice leaving you for Ryan. I was wrong. I remained silent, letting her words hang in the air. Every syllable struck me, reminding me of late nights, arguments, and laughter we once shared. She faltered, biting her lip. I hurt you, and I regret it. I want to apologize. Truly, from the bottom of my heart. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but please, I want you to know I'm sorry. I watched her, the words almost too much to bear. You regret leaving me, I said quietly, more to myself than her. After everything? Yes, she admitted, tears glistening. I made a mistake. I chased status, money, someone I thought would make me happy, but it didn't. Ryan left me for someone else. I lost everything, and I see now what I threw away. I felt a tight knot in my chest. Part of me wanted to yell, to tell her it was too late, but another part, a small, stubborn part, wanted to hear her out. Emily, I said slowly, do you understand what leaving me did? The betrayal, the humiliation, everything? She nodded, voice breaking. I do. I see it now. I wish I could take it back. I wish I could undo the pain I caused you. I leaned back, closing my eyes briefly. Memories flashed unbidden. Her laughter as we walked in the park, the late night talks, the promises we made, and then the night she left, the cruel smirk when she said, I need someone better. You realize, I said finally, that I've grown since then. I've built something you couldn't even imagine. I've turned my life around. Without you. Her eyes widened. I know. I see that. I see it, and it scares me. and I hate that I missed it with you." I studied her carefully. "So now what? You come crawling, asking for forgiveness, expecting me to just accept it?" I I don't expect anything," she whispered. I had to say it. I had to be honest. I want a chance to make amends, even if it's just professionally. I'll do whatever it takes." I felt a rush of conflicting emotions: anger, satisfaction, lingering pain, and a strange twinge of pity? No, not pity, control. I had it now. The power had shifted. "Emily," I said slowly, "I have a choice. I can forgive you, or I can let karma take its course. But you need to understand, in whatever happens, you've already lost the advantage you once had. That time is gone." She swallowed, nodding. I understand. I'll accept whatever you decide." I leaned forward, voice firm but measured. "I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to teach, to see if you can rise even after your mistakes. You'll work hard, follow rules, and maybe, just maybe, you'll learn the value of respect and effort. That's your path now." Her lips trembled. I'll do it, I promise." I studied her a moment longer, letting the weight of the confession sink in. "Good. That's all I ask. Actions over words. If you fail, it's on you. If you succeed, it's earned. Nothing else matters." Emily nodded, blinking back tears, the vulnerability clear for the first time. I felt a small sense of relief, not for her, but for myself. Closure, clarity. I stood, straightened my jacket, and said, "Now let's see what you've got. I won't go easy, and I won't tolerate weakness. Understand?" "Yes," she whispered. I understand." I felt the power solidify, the roles reversed, and a quiet pride settled in my chest. I had made my choice, not out of vengeance, but out of principle. I wouldn't let the past define me, nor her. For the first time, I felt in control, steady, and ready for the next step. And as she left my office to begin her work, I whispered to myself, "This is just the beginning. And now you'll see what you lost." The office buzzed with activity as usual, but my focus remained fixed on Emily. Her once perfect composure had frayed. The slightest mistake made her flinch. "Emily, the client report," I called. "You missed the revenue projections in the summary." I know, I'll fix it immediately," she said, voice trembling. "Good," I said calmly. "Remember, every detail matters, no shortcuts." Liam leaned in, whispering, "She's really feeling the pressure now. It's beautiful to watch." I smiled faintly. "Not beautiful, necessary. She needs to learn that actions have consequences." Later, I overheard a conversation between Emily and one of the colleagues. "I can't believe Ryan left me, and now I'm working under him," she whispered. I felt a flicker of satisfaction. Ryan had abandoned her for someone younger, and now she faced her own humility daily. Karma, subtle but undeniable, was unfolding before my eyes. During a strategy meeting, one of our minor rivals called. "Your company's expansion plans are ambitious," the rival said, "but I doubt you'll pull it off." I leaned back, composed. "Doubt all you want. My team is capable, and yes, I lead it." The rival hesitated. "Well, we'll see." I hung up, glancing at Emily. She shifted nervously. I didn't expect them to challenge us like that," she admitted. I smiled faintly. "Challenges are part of growth. You'll see. Pressure exposes weakness, and it also reveals potential." Emily nodded quickly, biting her lip. I want to do better. I'll work harder." "You'll do more than work harder," I said, voice firm. "You'll pay attention, learn, and adapt. That's how you survive. That's how you succeed." The next day, Emily made another mistake during a presentation. Her face went pale as she realized she'd misquoted a statistic. Emily, I said, keeping my tone steady, this is why details matter. Take a moment, correct it, and move forward. Mistakes aren't fatal if you handle them properly. She swallowed, voice shaky. Yes, I understand. After the meeting, Liam nudged me. She's completely aware now. She underestimated you before, and she knows it. I know, I admitted. And she's learning slowly. That's what counts. Emily approached later hesitantly. I know I messed up with you in the past. I see now what I lost. I studied her carefully. You do. And now you see the cost of pride and arrogance. But this isn't about punishment. It's about understanding consequences. Growth. Learning. Her lips trembled. I'm trying. I want to prove myself. I need to make this right. Good, I said firmly, because words won't fix what you broke. Only effort will. Only change will. Later, a minor business rival tried to undercut one of our deals. Emily looked to me nervously. Do you think we can handle them? I smiled faintly. We always can, but you need to observe. Learn how to handle pressure, threats, and setbacks. That's real growth. That's life. She nodded, swallowing hard. I'll pay attention. I won't let you down. I glanced out the window at the city skyline, feeling the weight of the journey I had taken. From heartbreak, betrayal, and humiliation to rising above it all. I realized something crucial. Revenge wasn't about hurting Emily or proving superiority. It was about my own transformation, about reclaiming power, dignity, and self-respect. Emily, I said softly, turning back to her, this is your chance. Learn from it. Don't waste it. Her eyes glistened. I won't. I promise. I let a small, quiet smile cross my face. Watching her navigate the challenges, realizing her mistakes and striving to improve, it was satisfying in a way that didn't require cruelty. Karma had done its work, subtly, without me having to exact a single blow. For the first time, I felt emotional closure. The pain of the past, the anger and the hurt had transformed into strength, purpose, and calm. I had risen above, and Emily's lessons, hard-earned and unavoidable, had served as a mirror to my own growth. And as I returned to planning the company's next move, I whispered silently to myself, this is my world now. I've won, not by revenge, but by becoming stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. The office was quiet that morning, the hum of computers and occasional chatter filling the space. I sat at my desk reflecting on everything that had brought me here, from heartbreak to betrayal, from despair to the small victories that had built my empire. The memories of Emily leaving me for Ryan still lingered, but they no longer cut the way they used to. They were lessons now, not wounds. A soft knock at my door pulled me from my thoughts. Come in, I said, straightening my jacket. Emily stepped inside, eyes downcast, clutching a notebook to her chest. I wanted to apologize, she began, voice trembling. I know I hurt you, and I've spent every day regretting what I did. I was foolish, selfish, and I can't undo it. But I want you to know I'm truly sorry. I leaned back in my chair, studying her carefully. Emily, I've heard your apology before in different ways. But this feels sincere. That matters. Her lips quivered. I want to make amends in any way I can. I don't expect you to forgive me entirely, but please, allow me to prove that I've changed. I paused, feeling the weight of the past months, the power shift, the lessons learned. My anger had faded, replaced by calm control. You'll keep your position here, I said finally, voice firm. But understand this. Boundaries are clear. You follow my instructions, meet expectations, and respect the hierarchy. This is not about favoritism or nostalgia. This is professional. Her eyes widened. I understand. I won't disappoint you. You will do your best. That's all I ask, I replied, keeping my tone even. Learn from this. Mistakes are acceptable if you handle them with responsibility, but disrespect, shortcuts, or arrogance, those are not tolerated. She nodded quickly, a hint of relief mixed with lingering guilt in her expression. I will do everything you ask. I gestured for her to leave. That's all for now. Focus, work, and show growth through action. As she exited, I felt a sense of closure wash over me. Watching her struggle, seeing her humility, guiding her. It had never been about revenge. It had been about reclaiming my strength, proving to myself that I could rise above pain and build something greater. Later, Liam stopped by my office with a grin. She's finally getting it, boss. You've got control, and she's starting to respect it. I smiled faintly. It's not about control, Liam. It's about growth. Hers and mine. Karma isn't satisfying when it's cruel. It's satisfying when it teaches, when it transforms. He chuckled. You make it sound almost philosophical. Maybe, I admitted. But I've learned that power without dignity is empty. And I'm not interested in empty victories. Later that week, Sophia walked into the office radiant and confident. She had joined as a business partner, ambitious yet kind, and her presence carried warmth without pretension. Good morning, she said, smiling at me. I wanted to discuss the expansion plan for the new market. I've analyzed the data and have a few ideas. I felt a spark of energy I hadn't realized I'd missed. The excitement of collaboration, of connection that wasn't tied to past pain. Sophia, I said, returning the smile, let's hear your thoughts. I trust your judgment. Her eyes lit up. And as we talked strategy, I noticed how effortlessly she combined intelligence with empathy. Unlike Emily, there was no arrogance, no sense of entitlement, just determination and partnership. After the meeting, Liam leaned over. Looks like someone new has caught your attention, huh? I chuckled, shaking my head slightly. It's not just attention, it's a new beginning. A reminder that life moves forward. Opportunities appear when you're ready to embrace them, not cling to the past. That evening, I walked through the office floor, observing the team at work. Emily was focused, determined, and cautious. Sophia was collaborating confidently with colleagues. I felt pride, not over power, not over success, but over the journey I had undertaken to arrive at this moment. I paused near my window, looking out at the city skyline. The sunset painted the buildings gold, and for the first time in a long while, I felt fully at peace. No lingering resentment, no cravings for revenge, no haunted memories of betrayal, just clarity, strength, and possibility. I whispered to myself, I've grown, I've conquered the pain, learned the lessons, and now I'm free. Sophia's voice broke my thoughts. Everything okay? I turned to her, a soft smile on my lips. Better than okay. I think it's finally time for a new chapter, for all of us. She returned my smile, warm and genuine, and I realized that hope wasn't a fantasy. It was tangible, present in the people around me and the life I had rebuilt. I returned to my desk, taking a deep breath. The journey from heartbreak to empowerment had been long, filled with struggle, reflection, and quiet victories. I had learned the true strength wasn't in vengeance or resentment. It was in growth, integrity, and embracing the future. And as I closed my laptop that evening, I felt victorious, fulfilled, and free. Free to build, to lead, and to love again. Free to start anew. The past had shaped me, but it no longer defined me. I had turned heartbreak into power, betrayal into wisdom, and loss into opportunity. And now, the story of what I had become could finally begin.